The honourable member for Richmond.
Mr. Speaker, in the spring of 2011, the Strait Area Women's Place opened its doors to provide a long overdue service in our community. This centre provides service to women and girls facing adversity such as poverty, unemployment, barriers to education and violence. The precarious economic situation in the Strait has made this community resource a much-needed institution and one that women and girls in the community turn to. Sadly, the Strait Area Women's Place funding ended on March 31st, and the good work that the centre did in the community will come to an end. Given that there are no other options for these services in the area, will the Minister of Community Services see to it that these services for women and girls can continue in the area and fund the Strait Area Women's Place?
The Honourable Minister of Community Services.
Mr. Speaker, this particular funding project was actually a pilot project that was funded through another source, and that funding has been completed, and that pilot was completed.
The honourable member for Richmond.
Speaker, we're all blatantly aware of that. The question is whether the Minister of Community Services will find the funding to continue the service. So, Speaker, the Strait Area has been dealt some tough blows lately. Businesses have closed, employers are downsizing or disappearing, and this has undoubtedly had an effect on families in the region. In a letter to supporters of the Women's Centre, the Minister for Community Services says, quote, "I wish I could do more," end quote. Mr. Speaker, the Minister knows that she can do more and she should do more. So my question is, will the Minister reconsider her decision and meet with members of the community to really see the impact this Women's Centre has made in the Strait and how important it is to maintain its funding?
The Honourable Minister of Community Services.
Mr. Speaker, I certainly know the importance of such services. That's why this government brought in $500,000 on an annualized basis for the transition houses and women's centres. And certainly I'm always available to meet with organizations.
The honourable member for Richmond on his final supplementary.
Speaker, organizations in the area who know the value of the Strait Area Women's Place have written to support the continued funding of the centre. Antigonish Women's Resource Centre and Sexual Assault Services Association want to see it continue and have written letters of support to the Minister. Strait Area Transit wrote to the Minister on the issue saying, quote, "We cannot emphasize enough the importance of having the appropriate supports in place, such as the Strait Area Women's Place," end quote. And as well, the Mayor of Mulgrave, who I'm sure this government is aware of, has also written to the Minister of Community Services asking that this service remains in our community. So my question is, will the Minister reverse her decision, support women and girls in the Strait Area, and ensure that this organization can continue to carry out their important work by providing them with stable funding?
The Honourable Minister of Community Services.
Mr. Speaker, I'm sure that the member opposite understands that it creates a very difficult position when a pilot project is funded by another source, and when that project finishes, then the expectation is on the government to pick up those costs. So it's something that can create difficulties when you're looking at the budget situation. And so that's what we have to consider as a department, because this is not just the first time that this has happened in our province. It happens often when there's federal funding that may be just a 1 year or from another source. So what they should do is go back to the other source of funding, because that's what a pilot project is usually when you run a pilot project, the hope is when it's analyzed at the end of that project that it is successful, then that particular funder that initiated it would continue on. However, as I said, we're always willing to meet and have open discussions with any community organization. Thank you.